Hey, good morning, gang. I'm hopping in to our streaming channels because this is the thing I do. We have a small group of new interns working with us this week, and some of them are peeking around and snooping around in our GitHub project boards, like our Kanban board, our project management system in GitHub. And I wanted to give a quick update and do this myself so you can kind of see what's going to happen possibly for you. One of the questions was, there's a task called default page load, and the question around it was, is that done? So we're gonna do that right now. I'm gonna wrap that up. I'm done talking. Let's just do it. All right, so here we go. So I am in GitHub right now, and I'm gonna blow this up for me so I can see this a little bit. Let's do this so I can move some windows around very quickly. Okay, all right, cool. So I can see this. So I'm in our project board right now. You can see here, there's this this object called, or this board, this thing called default page load. I'm just going to assign it to myself right now, just like that, assigned. There we go. Due date, we're gonna set it for let's just say today. It doesn't depend on anything. The priority was high. I'm gonna now it's here, so you can see my little icon right there. You can see that I'm assigned to it. And if you are looking at assigning yourself to anything in here, you can also do that yourself. Now I'm going to drag it over here to in progress. So now it's in progress. It is assigned to me, and we have some due dates. So it changes the roadmap. You can see right here the roadmap set up so that today this happens. Let's go back to the Kanban board though. I'm going to do one more thing to this object. I'm going to convert it to an issue because I want to show everyone the change that happens when you convert an issue or a draft task to an issue. So we're going to select an item. We're going to add it to this repo, the play repo, as an issue. Ta-da! Now it is an issue. It's been assigned a number, which is basically a hyperlink, a link to this issue. It is assigned to this repo. We can now add labels to it. So we can filter a label. We're going to call this an enhancement. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to label this as an enhancement. It's not going to stick around long, so none of this really matters. We haven't started working with milestones yet, so we're not going to create a milestone. We're not going to create a specific branch or issue for this, or a PR. But all of those are also options. So the thing that happens here, now that we have this, we have this default page load. We can assign other things to waiting on that. And if you see default page, let me go back to default page load. So in here, in the instructions, or in the content that I added, you can see I took a screenshot from VS Code. I threw it in here and explained what the code looked like and what we wanted to add, and the features that it was going to change. So a lot of screenshots, a lot of examples, and then down here at the bottom, I didn't bother adding the follow-on projects. But now that this is basically a done thing, we might need to check for bugs. We can follow up with this. This part's actually already done, built-in save load function. But now we need to work on serializing the toolbox so that we can save the actual blocks. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to figure out, because I believe we can do this. We should be able to duplicate this. Okay, maybe we can't. I always thought we could duplicate this. But what I will do now is I will add a new task. So I will come down here in the to-do list. I will add a Serialize block workspace. So I'm just adding a new task right now. Now we can open the task. In fact, I'm gonna do this. Open this in a new tab here. So we're going to serialize the block workspace. I'm going to open this here, and then I'm going to go over to this other tab, and we're going to read and cut and paste some things from here. So we know that this is item number 33. So this serialized block workspace depends on item 33 or issue 33. Priority is, let's call it medium. And we're going to assign it can start today. You can kind of see things disappearing in here. This is like a beta according to GitHub, so I don't think it's fully baked yet. And we have issues with not seeing some of this stuff in this thing. So I'm going to set the end date to the end of our summer. And I'm going to cut and paste some of the language. Feels building on right now. Okay. So the sprite, we're going to cut and paste. And I'm going to edit this to add some instructions. The sprite and workspace objects are hard-coded objects in the device.js code. Just adding some quick instructions, and you can drag this down, add a little more. You can also preview, see what it looks like in Markdown. And we need the sprite to be an object that's loaded. Okay, so we have a save file as a save that includes a save file format. That includes a save file format. Blah, blah, blah. We can actually copy this image. The save file format is currently works. Thank you, Amog. With the open/save buttons, we will paste the image from this explanation. Workspace start endpoint gets the workspace data around the user. And okay, so we will add all of that. The workspace start endpoint gets workspace data about the user from the database, and will be updated to get the separate JSON file from server. See user documentation. Oh, and now we need, not eventually anymore. So I'm going to cut and paste all of this right here and add this instruction. We're going to copy this, make it a link. Ta-da. Add this, change this from eventually to now that issue 33 is complete, we can make use of Blockly's built-in serializers for load save function. We may not be able to rely on those completely. I just want to make sure that that's understood here. But basically, we want to be able to, excuse me. So here's the instruction that's here now. This is the preview. So when I update this comment, this is what everyone will see. You can see you can go to the serialization instructions, and we can figure out how to implement this serialization, how to get the serialization of the block workspace and put it in the JSON file. So I'm going to actually write that. The documentation is here. We need to learn how to get the serialized workspace blocks and add them to the JSON object for saving either locally or to our server. There we go. So this is our instruction right there. Hopefully that's a good explanation, but I'm going to update this. There we go. So that is the thing. You can see depends on. Now I can click on it. Oh, no, maybe not. Boo. Okay. So this is still a draft. This serialized block workspace is a draft. So we don't have any of those extra features. We can't add labels to it. We can't add milestones or anything else to it. It's just like a draft issue that we're evaluating whether or not we're ready to convert it to an issue, whether we need to rewrite this, whether it's going to apply to anything else. But it is here now. Cool. So I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna drag it up actually above the extras. And we're gonna go back to this object. So let's read through this and check it out. Just to make sure, I think we're actually done with this default page load, issue 33. So I believe we can. Now we would transfer the issue. Oh no, we don't want to transfer the issue. Where's my? Oh, down here at the bottom, close issue. There we go. Close is completed. This is done. Closed, fixed, resolved. Great job going above and beyond. Thank you. With the save/load buttons. Now we can add more functionality to the user interface. Close with comment. Okay, so this issue is now closed. Ta-da! So if I do this, oh well, now that it's closed, I can show you it is no longer in the in progress list. It's been moved to did it move? Yep, default page load. It's moved to the done pile over here. So this is done, and I have not like archived or anything else here. But yeah, so it is done. And now we can go back over to serialized block workspace. We can see it's still not going to let us do that. Okay, that's fine. So we can't add the links in here, but you can see issue 33. You can go find issue. Let's see if we can find issue 33 in here. There it is. So if you type in issue 33 in the search, it'll come up as default page load will be the only once we filter it. So you can see that it's done. So if you are curious about this serialized block workspace and you see that it depends on 33, you can search 33 and you can find out that the default page load is done. Cool. All right. I'm closing in on 15 minutes here, so I'm going to wrap up. We still have another PR to deal with conflicts while we merge it. I'm going to try my best to take a look at that today. If not today, then Friday. But yeah, so that is an update. Let's see. I'm just going to close my screen here. Stop sharing. I'm going to throw this link in Slack so we can all see it and work with it. And I'm going to wrap up now because I'm at the 15-minute mark according to the little studio thing. And I really don't like to drag these out. All right. I will see you on Slack.